Hello, good people of the interwebs. Today it is, well, not exactly 78 degrees, but it is really 75 degrees. The highest today is around 84 degrees here in California. But we're not here to talk about California. No, we're talking about something rare that you actually ever hear from, and it's from CNN. Uh, and it's talking about something that is actually happening as we speak. And it's about Super Sentai. Super Sentai and a little bit of the Tokusatsu goodness that's happening. Japan's Toei Kyoto Studio Park, Samurai, Ninja, and the original Power Rangers. Okay. A fearsome group of Super Sentai in the Toei Kyoto Studio Park Anime Museum. The US TV series Power Rangers was based on the Japan Super Sentai series, not show. Well, actually, if you really want to think about it, yeah, it's true. Power Rangers was actually born from Kyoyu Sentai Judenja. So, as you can see here, these are all the known forgotten, quote unquote, Red Rangers. From Zyuranger to Dynaman. And I will go into more detail as we go along. Kyoto, Japan's capital from 794 to 1868, is one of the biggest stars on the Japan Tourism Trail. Recently voted world's best city by Travel and Leisure magazine readers. Is it deserving of the title? Definitely. Unless you're a traveler under the age of 12 and don't give a hoot about learning the correct way to whisk a bowl of matcha green tea, exploring ancient UNESCO World Heritage Sites, or counting how many torii gates there are at the Fushimi Inari Taisha Shrine, 10,000 foot record. When traveling to Kyoto with kids, the mutinous cries of "Not another thing did" will inevitably ring out, threatening to derail that dream family vacation. This is when you need to hit the Toei Kyoto Studio Park or the Toei Uzumasa Eigamura and spend an afternoon geeking out on some of the most familiar icons of Japanese pop culture, from Samurai and Geisha to Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon. The Hollywood of Japan. First, you'll need to toss your Universal Studios fantasy out the sliding shoji screen door. There are no rides here. The theme park celebrates the best of Japanese filmmaking, filled with huge Edo period from the 1600s to this 1867, sets you can explore on foot, preferably decked out in a funny samurai style wig you rented in the costume shop near the entrance. Often overshadowed by its traditional culture allures, Kyoto was called the Hollywood of Japan between the 1920s and 60s, until its thriving film industry went into decline. In response, filmmaking leader Toei Studios Kyoto opened up parts of its sets to the public in 1975. Further development followed, and the theme park grew in popularity among tourists. Today, many of Japan's Jidaigeki period dramas are still filmed on these sets. On my recent weekday visit to the Toei Kyoto Studio Park, crowds were light and no TV shoots were taking place, but I was able to get a behind-the-scenes sample of what happens on a typical Japanese historical drama shoot at the park's Jidaigeki show. More relevant to most foreign visitors, however, it is the anime museum filled with impressive displays, pictures, and sales from shows produced by Toei Film Company's animation arm, including Kamen Rider, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, and Super Sentai, on which the US based its popular Power Rangers series. In addition to Toei's dozens of film-related displays, the park has live ninja and samurai shows, a haunted house, ninja mystery house, trick art museum, 3D theaters, a maze of illusions, science museum, indoor kids play area, and a lovely Japanese ukiyo-e woodcut print gallery. Haunting, but not horrifying. Given that the Toei Film Company is behind some pretty terrifying horror flicks, as well as the controversial cult classic Battle Royale, I expect a bit more grotesque than what awaited in the haunted house. Still, it's pretty darn scary in a slightly cheesy way. The sound effects alone left me fighting the urge to seek out an emergency chicken exit as I hissed out loud, "Why are they coming here?" Fuck. An actor playing the role of a bloody, quote-unquote, dead body popped up in silent reply. Next, bearing in mind the words of author Joris Raphael, ninja don't wish upon a star, they throw them. I eagerly hit the ninja mystery house, where staff conducted a quick primer, on the history of the Cloak Assassin's residents before setting me free to get out on the maze of false walls and doors. Alas, no shurikens were thrown. Over in the Trick Art Museum, quirky 3D anamorphic art and props made for a perfectly Instagrammable experience. As I was traveling solo, a staff member was kind enough to accompany me through the space and take photos with my camera, doing a fine job of stifling her cringes as I struck awkward, unconvincing poses. So, few would likely make a special trip to Kyoto to see the Toei Studio Park. It's definitely a kitschy and fun way to spend a few hours. Buy the kids a souvenir costume with their own set of throwing stars, and you might earn yourself an extra day of Zen garden exploration. Additional Toei Kyoto Studio Pack information. Many of the shows are presented in Japanese only, but in as much as they're highly visual, they're still worth watching. Park displays include English text, while staff give out English language maps at the entrance. Toei Kyoto Studio Park has multiple restaurants throughout, which serve Japanese, Chinese, and Western cuisine. Admission is about 2,200 yen, that's $21 here. For adults, some attractions require an additional charge. And there is the, you can't see my, you really can't see my, my cursor here, but I'm pointing to it. This is the address if you would want to go there yourself one of these days. Now, I really did, as you can see here, I did a piece of work here yesterday when I was reading this article for myself, and I say the following: as classic anime are making a comeback in the States, Tokusatsu is going to be the next big boom in stores and conventions. This is saying all this piece of entertainment, entertainment Japanese actually had. I should say, this is the second oldest piece of entertainment the Japanese actually has, and for CNN to notice this is a step in the right direction. I welcome this honestly because, as a fan of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and beyond, this is a refreshing pace. It's a refreshing change of pace than hearing about the humdrum everyday mess that is politics, and the constant whining of what's wrong, and reading the constant swarm of complaints. This is the kind of change I want to read about, but something I'd like to share with those who grew up watching Power Rangers, VR Troopers, and the like. Speaking as a basic Japanese teacher, I welcome this as a means of change that most of us growing up can get behind. I have to agree to what I just said. Because I'll share this. Last Anime Expo that I actually went to, which was earlier on this month, I saw a lot of things that I never thought I'd get to put my hands on and actually find complete. I found Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. I found Kyoto Nintendo, which is the show that would soon become Samurai Pizza Cats. And they're two of Tatsunoko's finest series. I mean, Tatsunoko makes some fine anime. Karas, Speed Racer, Gatchaman, Samurai Pizza Cats. They are also they also go by their name, in which it fails me right now, but I think it's Saburo or Yatsude. I think I might be wrong. I might put it in the box, but it's Saburo something. But because of Toei, this is the reason why Power Rangers exists. It's not because of Saban, it's because of Toei. And Toei exists only because, I almost forgot, Puss in Boots. Yeah. Toei is basically, Puss in Boots. But I'm talking about Tatsunoko. But when you talk about Toei, you're speaking about the studio behind One Piece, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and of course, Pero, which is Puss in Boots. Aside from many other series and shows, if one thing is for certain, and I can take a stand behind this, like I said, Tokusatsu is going to be the next big boom. Because Power Rangers may have a franchise of 20 years, but Super Sentai has a history. It has a history all the way back in the 1970s, in which the first show, which is Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger or Secret Squadron Go Ranger, has basically made contact. I should say this. The series itself made contact, and therefore everything from then on, from Battle Fever J, Jaka, Dengekitai, Chojin Sentai Jetman, Chodenshi Bioman, Chikyu Sentai 5-Man, Denji Man, Dynaman, Taiyo Sentai, Sun Vulcan. I have practically named everything else. QQ Sentai, Go-Go 5, Gingaman. Seiju Sentai, Gingaman, Mega Ranger. All these shows that I'm mentioning. Even Shinkenger, Go Kaiga, and even Go Seiger. All the way up to now, which is now Tokuga. Toei put Super Sentai and quote-unquote Power Rangers on the map. Because if Super Sentai did not exist, the Power Rangers would not exist. Not to mention the fact that Ultraman is part of Tokusatsu. Kamen Rider is part of Tokusatsu. and and even the Thailand is a part of Super Sentai because they have a show called Bima, and look it up on YouTube. It's it's called Garuda Warrior Bima, or Garuda Satriya Bima. I think that's what it is. How do I know this? Because I watch this sometimes. I watch and stream sometimes old shows like that. But I mean, all these shows that I'm talking about. I mean, like I said, Anime Expo 2014. No matter how many times people will say I didn't like it because of the line. Yeah, besides the line on day zero, when I went in there and I picked up and bought, when I bought Lily Cat, the Tower Druaga series, the Legend of the Mystical Ninja series, Gotcha Man, and Tekken Man Blade 2, and Kyoto Ninden Teande, I was actually surprised to see Ranma 1/2 in a box set. I was actually surprised to see Cat's Eye in a box set. I mean, all these things I've seen that I would never thought I would actually want to get in a box set, they actually showed up. Now, things like, Macross and Gun and Mobile Suit Gundam 0079, I'm awaiting that. I'm truly awaiting that. And as an otaku, as a fellow otaku, to actually get to see this in real time. Actually, yeah, I know there's an ice cream truck outside. Anyways, I say this, and I already own Ultraman. I own a bit of Kamen Rider. I'm working on my own Shrine of Heroes, which not only deals with just Japanese heroes, but but mainly Super Robots, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and even Western heroes. I can honestly say that as a Japanese teacher, if you've never gone to Kyoto, you should go to Kyoto. I mean, if you've never been to Japan before, my first act will be as soon as you get past the Kanto region, which where I used to live. That's where I used to live. I lived in the Kanto region, and I forgot where I lived at. I honestly forgot where I lived at. It's been so long. My apologies, but I live near Tokyo. I live near Tokyo, so after you get through Tokyo, the next place you really want to go to when you're in Japan, there are three places. There's Tokyo, Roppongi, Akibahara, and Kyoto. I mean, these three places outside of the Kanto region. I don't know if it's within the Kanto region. I think it's outside the Kanto region. But besides that, what you need to do is make plans to go to this place here, Toei Kyoto Studio Park. I mean, honestly, it will change your life because you will see Sentai in its purest form. And I pretty much missed most of who I see here on this picture, but I know most of them being the early 70s to 80s Sentai. Like I know Turbo Ranger, Car Ranger, um, Ginga Man, and the like, Mega Ranger, and so these are all Sentai in the like 70s to 80s. Or I might be wrong. This might be the 80s to 90s Sentai. Because when Power Rangers came out, it was in the mid 90s or early 90s. It probably mid early 90s. And then from then on, well, 80s and mid 90s. That's what I can possibly say. It's what I can make out from this picture here. But aside from that, like I said, as an otaku with a level head, it's like this. These are the kind of articles I want to read about. This is something I like to share. I don't want to, normally I read something stupid about what one person does or what certain people do, And even though you might get a little laugh out of it, to me it's like, yeah, it's only funny, but after that it's like, I'm shaking my head at it. But this is something that I personally like to share because it's talking about a place that I've actually went. It's talking about a place that I lived for 1 year. And it is worth checking out for yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this article with you guys. And this was, like I said, only a day ago. Because I only had this up for about a day and nothing more than that. But yeah, I'd rather read something about this rather than read something stupid considering about politics and murders and all that kind of shit. Because that shit gets really stale if you think about it. In this sort of in the real nature of things. Excuse me if I am stuttering over certain words. Personally, I'm like excited about seeing this, because it made me want to go back to Japan just to see this. Just to see this and just be like totally blown away by this. But in any case, I hope that this actually excites people who have grown up watching Power Rangers, and even before Power Rangers, for those who have watched Super Sentai subtitled, this article is for you. And this is something I am pleased to share. So with that, I have been the Tenkaichi of gaming and otaku, proudly. And this article has been brought to us by CNN. Thank you, CNN. You're finally learning how to branch out from the norm. We hope you do much better. Anyway, I will see you with more videos in the not so far future. So stay tuned for my channel for more videos. Until then, take care, God bless, and Tenkai Muso.